start playing it again. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would film a little bit of a dupe list for you. For me in the beauty world there is two types of dupes. There's the product which is quite clearly a copy of another product, like for example the Archery eyebrow pencil by Soap and Glory is freaking identical to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. And you could tell that the company had a meeting and said, we want to create a product like this, and so they did. So there's that type, which I think are, you know, great, but I think if you're particularly into beauty, you can spot those a mile off because you're like, well, this looks identical to that. And I think there's a second type, which is very similar, but harder to notice, if that makes sense. And those are the ones that I'm going to be talking about today. The ones that I have just happened to come across. Not because I was looking for a dupe, but I just so happened to stumble across it. Anyway, I've got, it's all makeup. I haven't got any skincare or hair care stuff. Although if you'd like me to talk about that, I can do. Let me know. But yeah, let's crack on. My first one is not necessarily one's significantly cheaper than the other. I think they're actually a similar price point. But it's these two base products. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-hour full coverage foundation. I think that's its long-winded name. And then this is the Jouer Matte Moisture Tint. These are freaking identical. I like how in the beauty world this is marketed as a full coverage foundation and this is marketed as a more matte version of a tinted moisturiser, which you would argue are different ends of the spectrum, but literally they are freaking identical. I guess depending where you are in the world, one's going to be cheaper than the other. They're both also 50 millilitres of product. I think the only difference is this one has SPF in, and from what I can see on the bottle, I don't think this one does. I've got half and half on my face today, and I'm going to do a swatch of these close up together, and you can see that they're exactly the same. I got this off of Cult Beauty and I got this off of QVC, and it came with a brush, which is actually what I used to put it on. So whether that sways you or not, or you're thinking about getting one and you already have one, don't bother, I'd say, because as great as they both are, they're the same. They're exactly the same. I think the shade range may be a little bit different, and this one's got SPF in, but that is literally it. My next product is blushes. Now, if you've been around these parts for a little while, you'll know that I love Stereo Rose by MAC, and I've hit bloody pan on it. How awful's that? But this is a Mineralize Skinfinish by MAC. They're like shimmery, highlighty goodness. But I think these are also very similar to the Ambient Light blushes. I don't personally own any of those, but I am planning on buying one after this one has bit the dust. I've got two dupes for this one, depending which side of the pond you're on. They're both from the drugstore. The first one, and I would say the one that is most colour-wise like Stereo Rose, is Luminoso by Milani. I think a lot of people have likened these two together, and I would say I agree. The sort of base colour in them is very similar, but this one's got a little bit more veining and has like a little bit more of a rosy tint to it if you want to get really deep. And the other one is from Max Factor. This is their Creme Puff Blush, and this is in Seductive Pink. The colours are similar, they're not exactly the same. I would say this is a little bit darker, although literally after this video I'm planning to go shopping and see if they've got a lighter colour to see if those match better. But equally I feel like if you're on a budget and you want the effect of something like this, although to be fair, this pan is freaking massive, so it's not as if MAC is skimping out on product on these ones. I'm going to move on to eyes, and I'm going to make a very quick pit stop at, I've written a review all about their Real dupe, which I think is better than their Real. I've actually finished it, that's why I don't have it to show you. It's from Bourjois and it's their Dark Kohl Mascara. I've written a whole blog post about it, so I will link that down below, but I thought I would mention that because this is quite a popular product. Sticking with Benefit and Bourjois comparisons, I've got the Their Real Push-Up Liner as well. Now, I haven't actually written my thoughts down on this on the blog, but I'm not a big fan of it, but I can see why it's helpful. Basically, if you don't know what this is, it's a gel liner in a sort of rubber tip that you push up and put on, and I think for people who are not that great at liner or just starting with liquid liner, this would be great. But for me personally, because I wear liner all the time, it slows me down because you've got to carry on like eking the product out the top, and it's just not for me, and it wasn't made for me because I can already do liner. I'm pretty sure Maybelline do something exactly the same, but if I know that I don't like this one, I'm not, even if it's cheaper, I'm not going to go out and buy something that's exactly the same. But this from Bourjois, I think, is sort of the next step up. If you've bought this like this but didn't want to invest the money again, I think this from Bourjois is pretty great. What is this called? This is their Mega Liner, which is 24-hour wear apparently. Who knew? Oh, let me take this off. And although this is a felt tip, I don't know if you can see, it's like a chisel tip, so you can still get that sort of angle that you get with this one, but I personally think you're not having to stop to squeeze the gel out. It's just sort of already there. It's really black and it's a fraction of the price. I know it's like a little bit different, but honestly I would say this is great. And also, like, although it's really annoying that you can't click the lid onto anything, the shape also really helps you holding it. But yeah, I just think I prefer this one as well. Another eye product I want to talk about is the By Terry Ombre Blackstars. These are beautiful, but these are also £29, which, even saying that, I'm like, did you really do that, Alice? And I think this is fantastic. This is the shade, I believe it's number 5. It's called Misty Rock. The reason I got this one is I thought it was a really unique colour. It's like pink with like silver running through it, and it just, I think for my sort of hazel eyes, it really enhances them, and I think it's a really, really nice colour. But along come Bourjois, again with the Bourjois eye products. I do really like Bourjois. This is apparently waterproof and 24 hours. This is their Colorband eyeshadow and liner. Very similar in the sense it's sort of that pinky, almost purpley, dusky, rosy colour with silver running through it. I've got one on each eye. Although this is a sheerer formula, it's easily buildable. That's not even an issue. You just need to run it over your eyes a little bit longer. After it's blended out, I think this shows more of the pink colour, whereas this shows more of the sparkle. So I don't know whether or not I actually prefer this, you know. Pigment wise, this is like killing it, but as I said, this is easily buildable, so it's not a problem. I mean, I will probably merrily use this up because I do love it, but I don't think I'll buy it again. I think I would stick with this one because although it doesn't come as a twist up, you've got to sharpen it, I can't justify getting this one anymore, if I'm perfectly honest. So there's that. And my last eye thing is an eye tool, is the MAC 217. I think by many, including me, this is like the perfect blending brush, and you need something like this if you're into eyeshadow in your collection. Now, Zoeva, you know, I said something about non-identical ones. This one I just couldn't leave out. They look exactly the same. This is by Zoeva. This is the 227 Soft Definer. And if I put them next to each other, like, they look identical. And this one I think is £6 and this I think is 17. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Let's be honest, let's be real. And for my last little category of products, I have lip products. I've picked out 3 MAC lipsticks and 1 non-MAC lipstick. Mainly the reason I've stuck with MAC is I think, well, they're a sort of widely accessible brand and their lipsticks keep on getting more and more expensive. Like, shoot, I think they're now like £16 or something. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so I have 3 of those to talk about, and then I've got 1 non-MAC lipstick to talk about as well. First of all, I'm going to start with my favourite lipstick, which is Brave. And I'm also going to just go on record to say I would just go out and buy Brave anyway, because it's great. As you can see, I've used the living crap out of this. And it's that sort of brownie mauvey, which is very much in fashion, but I don't know, I just think it goes really well with me. So I actually have a bunch of drugstore alternatives to this lipstick. It's ridiculous because I just can't get enough of that colour. But the one that I picked out is from the Kate Moss collection, because this formula tends to be compared a lot to the MAC formula, and this is the shade number 8. It looks like this. I would say maybe Brave is slightly pinker and slightly lighter in colour, but other than that, I think they're pretty much the same, and I think these are a £5, so you can get 3 of these for 1 of these if you wanted. My next MAC lipstick is Rebel, which I think is an absolute staple in people's wardrobe. It's sort of like a purpley berry colour and I love it. And the one that I'm comparing it to is literally identical in colour. So much so I'm thinking of like giving it to a friend because I don't need it because I have Rebel and they're exactly the freaking same. Now getting this one's a little bit different. I got this off the Birchbox website with my Birchbox points, so I technically got this for free, although I think is something like £12 online, and honestly I would buy the MAC one over this one if you're buying it outright. But if you have like £10 worth of Birchbox points, like shoot, get it for free, you know, or pay £2 or something, because I think it's worth it, you know. They are literally the same lipstick. I cannot stress how much these are exactly the freaking same. And yeah, so there's those. This is Lady Danger, which again is a very popular orange based red by MAC, and this one is Designer Red by Avon, which is in their Luxe collection, which is this gaudy packaging. Now I don't know if this is only a Christmas collection or something. I feel like I've looked on there before and they didn't have it. So I hope it's not. But again, from just playing around and swatching, I've noticed that these are super duper similar. I would say Designer Red by Avon is probably a little bit more red. So if you think this is a bit too orange for you, because it is pretty freaking orange, then I would say maybe go for this. But again, with the Avon, they always do like deals and like bundle buys and stuff. So I don't know how much this lipstick is off the top of my head, but you never pay full price at Avon unless you're stupid. And my last product is a lipstick from YSL. This is a mini, as you can see, Rouge Pour Couture in number 1. So this is sort of a classic red, and it's actually what I've got on right now. And it's sort of got, I don't want to say like raspberry undertones to it, but it's very like a pillar box royal red colour. And you know, it's number 1, it's like a iconic sort of colour. And actually this product I was going to liken to the NARS Velvet matte lip pencils, because it's very similar in both texture and sort of format. But when swatching, I found that these colours are quite literally identical. Spoiler alert, I'm wearing half and half one of these lipsticks, and I bet you haven't realised up until now. It's actually from Maybelline, and this is their Colour Drama Velvet Lip Pencil in the shade 520 Light It Up. They are exactly the same colour. Like, I have the Maybelline one on this side and I have the YSL one on this side, and it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. So if you were thinking about treating yourself with this one, I mean, it's lovely lipstick and it's lovely packaging, and I feel with stuff like this, when you buy it, it's more about how it makes you feel rather than the lipstick itself. But this is exactly the same colour if it's the colour you were after. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed my video. I'll continue collecting up dupes, and I'll film another one of these videos when I've got a couple to talk about. Anyway, if you've got any favourite dupes down below, please let me know and leave them down. I would love to read about them. And yeah, I shall see you guys soon. Bye! Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would talk about cream products.
Talking's just a waste of breath,
and living's just a waste of death, and why put a new address on the same old loneliness?